I'm Michael Frank, and I am Honeyboy Edwards' manager and the owner of Earwig Music Company, a blues and roots label in Chicago. Honeyboy Edwards, over the course of the time we were associated, became the embodiment of the early years of the Mississippi Delta blues, which is the foundation of blues in general. There are blues in other parts of the country, but the Mississippi Delta blues really was the foundation of all of rock and roll. Not Piedmont blues, Mississippi Delta blues. And Honeyboy is so important because not only did he play the blues as a young kid and as a professional through his entire lifetime from his early teen years, but he started out as a teenager at the time when the first generation blues players were still living, and he played with all of them.
The music that came out of the South spread around the world and helped give the birth to rock and roll. Most of its founding fathers are long gone, legends like Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters. But there remains a living link to the birth of the blues. His name is David Honeyboy Edwards.
I'm gonna get it buzz up now, bring it down to the ground.
Every note from his guitar is a story. 94 years worth of stories from the son of a Mississippi sharecropper who, guitar in hand, hit the road at age 17.
Please come in. We catch the freight train, ride for nothing on the freight train.
There were a lot of young men in the Depression-era South hitching rides, hopping the rails, and playing the blues. They were the first of the Delta bluesmen. Some became legends, names like Charlie Patton, Pinetop Perkins, and David Honeyboy Edwards.
I remember once I was coming from Memphis, walking down 61 highway, guitar on my shoulder, went out across the field picking cotton. I wasn't picking none. I'm trying to get to town to play on the street and make some money.
And you did it?
Yeah. I hear one guy hollering, "Hey, man, you better put that guitar down, you're gonna starve to death." I just keep it walking.
The journey took him north to places like St. Louis and Chicago, which he would eventually call home, and where the music that once earned him nickels and dimes began to earn him fame.
I've been all over the world. I've been in Japan, I've been in Finland, I've been in Denmark, I've been everywhere.
A kid from Shaw, Mississippi.
Yeah, from Shaw, Mississippi.
His fingers and his mind are still nimble, just as they were in those juke joints in the Mississippi Delta years ago.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go?
And he still enjoys picking out a tune with fellow musicians he meets along the way. Still got it, Honeyboy. Still got it.
Yeah.
I would like you all to help me welcome to the stage Mr. Honeyboy Edwards. Keep it going, keep it going.
Joe Williams picked me up on the road when I was 17. He carried me from Greenwood. And he come and asked my father, could I go with him? So he learned me how to play the guitar more than I know it. So in the country, my dad said, well, he can go, say, it ain't nothing to do on the farm now. In the winter time, so honey can go if you want to. So he carried me in New Orleans. We played on the streets, little clubs. There wasn't no amplifiers and nothing like that back then. And we used to get together 2 or 3 guitars to keep up a lot of noise. Yeah, so we sung the blues in the country, drank white whiskey all night long, and played the blues all night.
Honeyboy grew up at a time when the first generation musicians were alive and active. Charlie Patton, Son House, Tommy Johnson, Tommy McLennan, Ma Rainey. Those musicians were all around and touring and active. He got a chance to meet them, talk with them, play their music with them, incorporated some of it into his own musical style, into his own repertoire.
I left out of Memphis, trying to get back to Greenwood. I come Lake Common. That's right down below Memphis, a little town, Lake Common. And that's where Son House and Willie Brown and Robert Johnson were living at the time. And Robert was 24 years old. I was 20. Son House and Willie Brown a little older than us. So I got out there and I got stranded. I couldn't get to Greenwood, and the boy was on the stovepipe. He said, "Why don't you go over there on Flower Plantation?" Said Willie Brown and Son House and them playing over there tonight. Big plantation quarter houses, selling white whiskey, homebrew beer, gambling, going on barbecue and stuff. I went over there. That's the first time I met Robert. Robert was playing harp there with Son House and Willie Brown. Robert left. Next year, in 46, he made all his national hits in 46. He left. And he come out at least in 36. He come out in 36. And he come to Greenwood and tear playing blues, Kind Hearted Mama blues, Love in Vain, Come On In My Kitchen. All those records was just on the nickel jukebox, just playing all them down the streets. And Robert come in with a little suit of clothes on, a little guitar, and he was making all the little money around there and around. Tommy McClellan was living in Greenwood then. And I was just started out good. I met Robert Johnson one Saturday at about 1 o'clock right here. He was standing up with his guitar on his arm with a little suit of clothes on, and this woman come from this way down Johnson Street walking. She's about half drunk. She said, "Mister, play me Terror Plant Blues." He said, "Mister, that's my recordings," like that. She said, "I don't care who done it." He said, "Just play it, you got a dime." So he started playing the Terror Plant Blues, and about 10 minutes, the people had him crowded. There's so many people around him, all out in the street. The police had to put us back in the alley. They had to put us back in the alley here. And so many people around him, I couldn't say nothing to him. And when I did get sent to say something to him, I said, "You Robert Johnson?" He said, "Yeah." Then I didn't know how to talk. I said, "You ever been around Tunica, Mississippi?" He said, "Yeah, I've been around Tunica all the time," like that. I said, "You know a girl around there called Willie Mae Powers?" He said, "Willie Mae?" He said, "That's my girlfriend." I said, "That's my first cousin." He said, "Oh, man." Then we hooked up right and got together. Right here.
I got to show my respect. Are you ready for the blues? And now we're going to turn it over to the master, Mr. Honeyboy Edward. Let them play the blues for us.
Baby, can't you ride with me tonight? Pretty baby, can't you ride with me tonight? I want you riding, baby. Why the moon is
First met David Honeyboy Edwards when I was a music journalist. Before I got involved in music museums, I was a journalist, and I wrote a lot about the blues. And during my time as a journalist, I had come across Honeyboy's work actually when I was probably in my 20s, and I was always amazed at the authenticity of the sound. In the 1970s, when lots of artists were flirting with rock and roll and were electrifying their sound and sweetening up so that they could sell more records, Honeyboy just stayed right where he was, which was right in the center of the Mississippi Delta. How many people are still in their 90s playing the blues and who have had the history that he has had? You know, B.B. King, a couple of others, maybe Pinetop Perkins, but you know, he can articulate it with his music. He can articulate it with his stories. He's a great American. He's a blues ambassador without even trying to be one.
You kids out there heard the blues and know what the blues is. Because I'm the blues player. I'm 94 years old, still playing the blues. That's right. Yeah, I'm going to show you all a little something about the blues. Blues has carried me a long ways. And we gotta do a little of this stuff.
Anything you listen to has got a little bit of the blues in it. It's all pervasive. It's a part of us all.
When I write and sing, it's very cathartic. Therapeutic, cathartic, and I see. I can't speak for him, but I would imagine that it's a very similar thing. That these guys, when they sat and played, they had to do that. They needed to do that. It's for their own sanity.
I'm a student, and every time I get a chance to be around one of the masters, you want to get what you can, and absorb what you can and take it to the next level.
Anybody 94 years old still out there playing he deserves the crown. He's the king.
I'm a lot closer to the end than the beginning, but you see somebody like Honeyboy, who's 94, and it's like I'm still a kid, so I got a lot more to learn.
This is Honeyboy Edwards, and I hope you support the National Blues Museum in St. Louis.